Hello, welcome to the Echo Tips podcast. In today's episode, we're going to be dealing with an interesting feature on the Amazon Echo line of devices, and that is notifications. So, how do you get little chirps and chimes out of your Echo that remind you, tells you different things? So, we're going to find out a little bit about that today. Now, notifications might be connected with something as simple as having a pizza delivered or a weather alert from your local TV station's weather reporter. A variety of things like that. It could be a package being delivered. It could be a number of different things. But before we dig into that in any sort of detail, we're going to go to a brief message about our podcast, and then we'll be right back. This episode is brought to you by the New Vision program at Goodwill. We're also grateful for the kind use of WVTF Studios. New Vision is a program of Goodwill that provides information services and assistive technology training to individuals with visual impairments living in Southwest Virginia. Goodwill Industries of the Valleys is a nonprofit organization serving the New River, Roanoke, and Shenandoah Valleys of Virginia. Goodwill's mission services help individuals with disabilities and disadvantages to get back to work and gain greater independence. These shows are provided for educational purposes. This podcast may not be retransmitted, sold, or reproduced without written permission from New Vision. Hello, welcome back to the Echo Tips podcast. As we mentioned earlier, we're going to be dealing with the subject of notifications. So, before I get into that in any sort of detail, I'd like to welcome any of our new listeners. My name is David Ward. I'm an assistive technology instructor with the New Vision program here at Goodwill. And for our returning listeners, we'd like to welcome you back as well. Because of y'all, we have, I think, upwards of 62,000 listens to our podcast, and we really appreciate your listenership and your support. Keep that support a-coming. So please, if you'd like to support us, subscribe to our podcast in your podcast player of choice. Tell your friends about the podcast. Share it on Facebook or Twitter. We really appreciate that. And feel free to give us feedback, too. If you have any questions or topics you'd like to, you can reach out to us on Facebook or Twitter at Goodwill Industries of the Valleys. Okay, so let's get right into notifications. So what are notifications exactly, and how may they differ from some other things? So in Season 1, we talked about probably one of the cardinal awesome features of the Echo that's been around for years, and that is alarms, timers, and reminders. Now, typically, the big distinction we're going to find between those kind of things and notifications is that those are typically things that you set. You know, I want the thing to go off and ding at me at 9 a.m., or I want it to wake me up tomorrow morning, either to music or to this. That's an alarm, or that kind of thing. While notifications carry a slightly different connotation, we will find that it has the ability to customize some of that stuff, but generally notifications deal with things that you don't know you wanted to be notified. For example, that package from Amazon is en route today, or that package just got delivered. You know, you may not have any control over that, but your Echo is linked to cloud services where it knows that's happening, or a Domino's pizza is on its way, whatever, right? So those are the nature of notifications. They're things that are going on in the background that you would like to be prompted about, like a weather alert or something like that. Okay, so where are we going to find these settings? By the way, this is kind of what you might hear if you hear a notification, this kind of sound effect. And then it's usually followed by some sort of declaration, or you need to ask, hey lady, read my notification, or tell me my reminder, or whatever, something like that. Usually notifications, the key word. Okay, so to find that, you're going to need to open up your A-Lady app on your phone. Now, I'm going to start saying the actual A-Lady's name here, so if you have an Echo in hearing distance of me, you may want to shut its ears off. I don't want to trip up your Echo. Okay, so you're going to take your phone or your tablet, and you're going to open up the Alexa app. In that, you're going to go to the main page. Hopefully it will default to that if you haven't been around there doing things lately. You're going to go down in the bottom right corner and go to the menu button or more button. It has like 3 different lines on it, one slightly shorter, I think, than the others. And you'll tap on that, and that will slide out a menu. This menu used to be, I think, in the top left corner, but it's the same basic concept and listing, but it's just kind of moved its location. So once you get that slide out menu, you're going to scroll down and tap on Settings. Okay. Now that's going to take you to a new page with basically what I would call your global settings. These are settings and account things that affect all your Echoes. It could be the ones at home and work, anything on your account connected with the Echoes, maybe even some smart devices. Okay, now on that page you're going to scroll down and you're going to find notifications. Pretty clear. Tap on that. Okay, now on this page, and I believe it's an A to Z listing, you're going to find a variety of built-in services on the Echo, like shopping, all things to try, hunches, calendar and email, reminders. Okay, those are built-in native functions of the Echo, so everybody's going to have that in their listing. If you've enabled other skills like the Domino's Pizza or maybe a local weather radio or TV station, and those skills had the capacity to do notifications, then those will also be listed down there in alphabetical order. Okay, so how do we tailor these a little bit? So since your skills may vary from from mine, like you maybe not have Domino's Pizza, but you have something else, you may be able to burrow into those and make customizations the way you want. But I'm going to focus mostly today on the ones we all got. For example, Amazon Shopping. So if you tap on Amazon Shopping, you're going to see a long list now on this next page, everything connected with shopping on Amazon, from packages being delivered to I asked a question on a product on Amazon and now I have a response, to maybe suggestions about products to buy, star ratings of things to buy. So some people may find it pretty annoying. I don't want my Echo just chiming at me in the middle of the day. Hey, did you like those t-shirts that you ordered last week? Would you give it a 1 to 5 star rating? Some people don't want that, so shut that off. That type of notification. Some people may not want to hear when they get a response and when they ask about a particular product on Amazon that somebody replies. They don't want to hear that chime on their Echo and then it read that out to them. So you can customize it here in this page. Okay, so it's a lot of those things. Now let's go back to our main listing again, to the A to Z listing. Now, you have other things in there people might also likely not like, or they think it's too much noise on their Echo, like the hunches section or the things to try. Maybe you don't want to be constantly harassed by the Echo telling you, hey, did you know you could do this, or did you know you could do that? You maybe don't want that. So you could shut that off as well. Now, the next thing we're going to look at here is reminders, and I might do a separate episode on this because this is pretty cool. Now, this is a little different in the sense that reminders are generally going to be things that you configure, but the way the notification is broadcast on your Echoes can be tailored in here. So it's a little counterintuitive, but you can tap on that, and this is really cool. You can set it so that it comes across all your Echoes at the same time. Now, that's really kind of cool. Say I'm at home, and I remember I have something at work tomorrow, where I have an Echo sitting on my desk at work, and maybe something I need to look up for a student or the like. Well, historically, I could tell my Echo at home, set a reminder, but it's not going to go off on my Echo at work. It's going to chime on my Echo at home. Now, I do presently have notifications set up on my smartphone, so it will show up on my smartphone, but maybe that's not exactly the way I want it. I'd like to actually hear it. So here there's a toggle that I can have that announced across all my Echoes, both home and here at work. And so that would be pretty handy to me. Also, if you find the notifications popping up on your phone kind of burdensome, you can toggle that off here. Additionally, and this is going to be super cool, you can tailor how many times it gives you the notification. So for example, by default, it'll go ding, 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 David, remember you have a doctor's appointment today. It'll go ding, ding, ding. David, remember you have a doctor's. It'll do it twice, and then it'll stop. But maybe you'd really like it to remind you until you stopped it. Or maybe you're setting this up for an elderly family member and it's an important medication reminder. You just don't want it to go off twice. Well, you can tailor it in there to chime more than that, and I think there's even an option there I saw at the bottom where it will go off for an hour pretty much until they stop it. And I think that might be optimal for a lot of people. Additionally, here it has a setting which I haven't played with yet, but it tailors these reminders in such a way, the notifications that is for the reminders, in such a way that it knows whether you were sitting at your desk or not. And hence it just won't chime forever. It will mostly, I think it'll go somehow tailored in a way to know whether you're present or not. So I don't know exactly how that works, but it might be something to play with. All right, let's back out into the main feature set. If you go back one more page again, I also mentioned there was calendar and email, once again a native function that we're going to look at. So in there you can have your calendar set up to multiple calendar cloud accounts. You can designate which one you'd like to receive notifications of, different appointments and the like. And also, of course, emails is listed in here as well. Don't have much control on the emails in there except that you have a PIN code lockout on the ability to get that notification. So maybe you don't want anybody to be able to walk up to your Echo and hear whatever the email was about. So you can have that PIN code turned on. Don't have the similar functionality as the calendar. So I would like to see more granular control here in the calendar options. And if you burrow in here too, you can see that there's a designated do not disturb time and things like that. I also don't see the ability to customize when it gives you the notification about a calendar event, say an appointment. So for example, could I customize it to be, notify me 5 minutes before the appointment, notify me 20 minutes before the appointment? It doesn't seem like you have any kind of granular control in this. So anyway, so let's back out from a big 1,000-foot view. What do we see? Well, we got some granular controls over notifications. It is moving along. It is getting more sophisticated. I would like to see it more sophisticated, but nonetheless, you can see some pretty cool stuff in here that might be able to hamper down the constant notifications. Good golly, we get a lot of things on our phones and different things all the time, so you might be able to tailor that. I really like the ability to tailor the reminders, the number of dings I'll get notification-wise for those reminders that I've set, and also the fact that I can globally have them go off on all my Echoes. I think that is going to be fantastic. Okay, so that basically brings this little nugget to a close. We encourage you to turn your ears back on your Echo, start practicing some of the many things you've learned. I'm David Ward for the New Vision program, and we thank you for listening.
Thanks, Dave. In conclusion, let me tell you a thing or two. This episode is brought to you by New Vision at Goodwill Industries of the Valleys, and it is also made possible in part by a grant from Community Foundation serving Western Virginia. And there's more. We're also grateful for the kind use of WVTF Studios. New Vision is a program of Goodwill that provides information services and assistive technology training to individuals with visual impairments living in Southwest Virginia. For more information, check out our website at goodwillvalleys.com/newvision. with no spaces. Goodwill Industries of the Valleys is a non-profit organization serving the New River, Roanoke, and Shenandoah Valleys of Virginia. Goodwill's mission programs help individuals with disabilities and disadvantages to get back to work and gain greater independence. These shows are provided for educational purposes. This podcast may not be retransmitted, sold, or reproduced without written permission from New Vision. Thanks for listening.